Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It really is fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on the Charlie Daniels Band. And through the song The Devil Went Down to Georgia, where we had the golden fiddle versus selling your soul, um, we certainly had an opportunity to talk about short-term benefits versus long-term gain. So I trust you found that an encouragement. We're going to a bunch of guys today that were formed in 1973 in Rockford in Illinois. And the classic lineup is Robin Zander on lead vocals and the frontman, Rick Nielsen on guitar, Tom Peterson on bass, and Bunny Carlos on drums. And the guys we're talking about today are Cheap Trick. And between 1977 and 2017, they have released 19 studio albums. And apparently there's one coming out in 2021. We'll have to wait and see on that. 19 studio albums, as I've said, 6 live albums, 17 compilation albums. Tends to happen when you've been around for as long as these guys actually have, and to produce 19 studio albums. Very easy for that to happen. 7 videos, 4 EPs, and 64 singles. They've also contributed on 20 soundtracks for movies because these guys are very good songwriters indeed. And in 2016, it was wonderful to see these guys inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And one of the things that Kid Rock said when he inducted them was how tight, incredibly tight, these guys are on stage, and a bit of a benchmark for through which other bands have been judged. These guys are very, very tight indeed. Now we talk about Cheap Trick. I first met Cheap Trick through the song If You Want My Love, You Got It. If you need my love, you got it. You can have it. I won't throw your love away. I thought in the context of very much about, love being a one-night standoff, and I found those lyrics quite compelling because it went a bit deeper and a bit more than just the normal love thing. It talked about the fact that I'm here for you no matter what. But I suppose for me, the song that just typifies Cheap Trick, they do like to rock. These guys, we'll get onto a couple of their rock songs in a minute. But for me, the thing that typifies these guys is the depth of their lyrics. And when you combine that with the incredible vocals of Robin Zander and the 3 guys playing behind him, you have an all-round compelling, timeless experience in Cheap Trick. Now, in 1988 came the album Lap of Luxury, and a song that pretty well brought Cheap Trick back into the limelight was the song The Flame. And very much along the lines of If You Want My Love, You Got It, that wherever you go, I'll be with you. Whatever you want, you can be, I will be here for you. Your shoulder is something you can rest upon when you are feeling weary and tired. There's so much more depth to these guys. There really, really is, than just the one night stand stuff. They are really into love and trying to explore what love actually is. It's all very easy, when love's going well. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining, the flowers are out, everything's just green, and you're just walking with your loved one hand in hand. You might have had a coffee in your pristine park, and everything is just really, really beautiful and wonderful. And that is certainly what love can be, but other times love can be a bit more of a challenge. When things aren't going so well, maybe there's an argument, there's an unresolved issue that's just featuring under the surface, and neither of you really, really know how to deal with it, but you kind of just still love each other and you just kind of working all that out a bit. Love can become a challenge. And, as I've shared a couple of times before, love is much bigger than the 2 people that are sharing it. It's a force of nature. It's a potent force of nature that helps us to rise to the challenge, because sometimes the love within us needs to step up, particularly when life is tricky and life is hard and there are arguments and there are fights and there's silence and all the rest of the stuff that goes on. But you still love the person despite that. I suppose what the flame is actually saying is, look, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be for you no matter what. Let's try and get through this thing. Let's try and get through this thing the best we can, because I really, really want to be with you. I want to be there for you no matter what. It can be a challenge when love goes like this. Sometimes love needs to take over, and love being characterised by patience and kindness and goodness and kind words and hoping for the best and all the rest of it that goes along with love. That's those sort of qualities are so far beyond often what myself, I suppose, as a human being can offer. And so I need this reservoir, this tool of love that can help rise up within me to actually become a better person. Because this is one of the things that love does. It brings out the best in you. Relationships can bring out the worst in you. There's no doubt about that. Love brings out the best in you. Love doesn't change. It doesn't falter. It remains the same. It remains kind and good and faithful no matter what. It's just for me as a human being, I don't measure up sometimes to those things. I think we feel sometimes a little bit guilty about the fact that we don't measure up. We think, oh man, what did I do that for? How did it even get to that situation? And we need to look at the other person sometimes with fresh eyes and with new eyes to say, oh look, I still love you. I may not be quite know how to love you at the moment. I just know that I still love you. And I can't imagine you not being there despite what's gone on. I suppose the words I'm sorry sometimes need to be said. Those words can be really, really difficult to say. Because you're thinking, well, I'll say sorry, but the other person won't respond. I suppose the thing is that someone's got to make a step, make an opening statement. And if it is that you're watching this video, it could be that you're the one that needs to do it. Oh my God, it's so hard though, right? I mean, why me? Why can't it be the other person that does it? Well, someone has got to do it. There's just so much at stake. When a relationship breaks, it's not just a now thing. You might be thinking, oh, thank goodness that's over. But I bet the relationship will probably hang around with you and you'll be thinking, oh, I haven't quite reconciled myself. I haven't quite known how this relationship is now. Maybe it's better to try and reconcile it while there's still chance. And I suppose the invitation from today's video is that love needs to rise up between the both of you for that to happen. Look at each other with fresh eyes. Look at each other with fresh ways. Look at each other as it was when you first met. When you could look in each other's eyes and know that you're so glad you were with them. Tough stuff today. I suppose this song by Cheap Trick really does paint such a beautiful picture of love, and it provides us with an opportunity to look at love afresh. So I trust that will be an encouragement for you today. Well, on to the clips. Now, there are a few songs when you think about Cheap Trick, you've really got to talk about them. One is I Want You to Want Me. Now, I remember this song at the end of 10 Things I Hate About You. This was the one that had Heath Ledger in it. This was Cheap Trick song at the start. This came off the In Colour album from 1977, and this is a live version, apparently, and an iconic live version of this song. And this really catapulted Cheap Trick into the worldwide household name that it became. We've also got If You Want My Love, You Got It. Now, this very much goes along the same lines as The Flame in lots of ways. It's a promise of love that is deeper than sometimes what we can do. This came off from the album 1982 album One on One, and that is the official clip. I think it's good to just revisit some glam 1980s video clips, and certainly MTV was the case around then, and so you've got that one as well. We've also got Dream Police. This is another iconic Cheap Trick song. It came off the same album of the same name in 1979. Here we have an absolutely massive live performance of this song. We've got orchestras, we've got all sorts of things going on in here. And I suppose it's because this song is pretty full on instrumentally. There's a lot of stuff going on in this song, and it sometimes needs that added help of the orchestra, because normally there's just 4 of them. Sometimes for songs as big as this one, you need a little bit more than that, and so this is a massive live performance of Dream Police. But the song I have talked about today is The Flame. This came off the 1988 album Lap of Luxury. This is an absolutely spine-tingling, beautiful, staggeringly fantastic live performance of this one. And it is understandable that Robin Zander in particular has got just one of the voices of rock, and there's nothing that typifies his voice more than this performance. In fact, the rest of the band give him a bit of a nod at the start to say that this song features Robin Zander, or more than features, he nails this absolutely fantastic performance, and he is backed by an incredibly tight band indeed. So be swept away by The Flame. I'm thinking this song is timeless. It's amazing where songs come from sometimes, not just the words, not just the music, not just the vocals, it's just the whole thing. Even the name, The Flame, which can potentially never go out. So all the links are in the description below for all of those songs, so feel free to look at all of them or some of them. Certainly have a look at The Flame. If you want to rock around a bit, you know, I Want You to Want Me is a pretty cool performance as well. And I've also included, by the way, my last video from the Charlie Daniels Band, so if you want to recap on that one, feel free as well. Well, if you have come back for another one, fantastic. Welcome back. Very, very welcome. Great to see you back. If this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, welcome to the channel. And as I say each time, please note the invitation tomorrow below that if you want me to have a look at a song, feel free to drop it in the comments. Or it could be that you just want a song by a band. Just drop it in there and I'll try and find the song which is just right for you. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go to iconic pop diva Cher. So until then, I'll catch you around.